fights with passion, and he inspires.
Are you ready for a war?
All right. Welcome back to From 8 Arbitration. This is Friday, day before we head out to LA. I've got two very special guests today. I've got the Wolf, James Henry, and I've also got NBA of Region 1, Allan Rios. And we're going to talk just a little bit. But first off, let me say this. It's something that James and we were going to do an episode a couple of nights ago, and then Eddie Davidson was forced to step down running for president of the NELC due to his wife's illness. And so James and I just thought it was best we not entertain an episode on the slate. And due to that, out of respect for that situation, I messaged Eddie, told him that I'd be praying for his family. He messaged me back, thanking me. But whoever prays, pray that Miss Christina will get better, whatever the situation is, and that I am a religious person. I know it may not seem like that all the time, and James is as well. And so, but we believe in a higher being that can heal her, and so that's what we'll pray to do. And so, those of y'all that pray for Eddie and Christina. If you ever hear Eddie talking on anything, a podcast or anything like that, you understand quickly how much he loves his wife and how much of his heart she has, and vice versa. And so I know that is a situation that we will definitely be praying about. And I know James wanted to talk just a little bit on that as well.
Absolutely. There's never a time to allow politics to interfere with decency. And I've considered Eddie a friend for a considerable period of time. And I've always been a proponent that family comes first. And as such, my heart goes out to him and his entire family, whatever it is that they're going through. And we ask that the Lord um, provide a full, speedy recovery for whatever it is that may be going on. And we are not one, and we've demonstrated overall throughout our campaign that we're not about, dirty politics or anything of that nature. And so we, as you indicated, uh, took the time took the time out to just allow things to settle because come tomorrow, there'll be another day. And as such, you have to live with yourself. And so we are not ones that believe in um, bad memes and defamation of people and things of that nature. So I encourage any and everyone that is in this race to stay above the fray and to uh, run your race with integrity and credibility. And the membership will ultimately make their decision as to who they believe is best for this union. But for this time, we need to take a moment out and just be decent human beings.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And we were down in Orlando, the other day, and Eddie was there. And when I left, told him I loved him. And, then you hear this news, and it's, I pray that it's something that is uh, very easily, recoverable from. And so that's what we'll pray. And Eddie will definitely be back into the fray eventually. There's no doubt. I mean, he's a gifted business agent. James, you think the same thing. And
Likewise.
he's highly popular in his region, and very well so, because he, education, arbitration, those things, he does a stand-up job on it. But yeah, so Eddie, I know you don't listen, but we are definitely praying for you and your family and your wife, Christina.
Absolutely.
And so,
Blessings, brother.
yes, Allan, I want to get you on here, my man, because you've been drug around a little bit here lately.
Yeah, I have just a little bit. just a little bit.
I've been looking on Discord and Reddit and social media, and my man Allen's being drug around a little bit, and I was like, damn,
Yeah.
Allen,
And no matter how hard I try to not look at that stuff,
yeah,
people will tell me. I get text message all day long about what's going on. Did you see
well,
this? Did you see that?
yeah. First off, Allen, I respect the shit out of you. Let everybody know that. I think you are going to be a phenomenal business agent. You're a fantastic choice, and you had other people in your office that do a fantastic job as well.
Yes.
And so, when Renfro, you know, gave you the nod, I thought that's a beast right there in Allan Rios. And I've talked with you before, and so I
And
think you'll do
Corey,
it. Yeah,
and I can speak to you firsthand. Me and Alan come from the same city that we carried mail at. I've known Alan for over 25 years, and he has put his nose to the grind and has been second to none when it comes to his dedication and devotion to learning his craft about representing letter carriers and have a work ethic that is second to none. And so I could not have been more pleased that when he was ultimately selected, because as you indicated, shout out to Region 1 Business Agent Office, because I worked out of there. There are a lot of fine people. That's a fine staff that's in there. But Alan is definitely uh, a great choice, and the membership in the NLC is going to definitely benefit even more with his vision about moving forward with the business of Region One, and he's worked out of there about 11 years or so, and has done a fine job. Like I said, so I know firsthand for working with him and bringing him up as a steward. I recognized talent in him years ago. So what you're saying, I want to concur firsthand.
yes. The situation, and we'll talk. Normally, I don't do this, but the situation is you have a young man, Chris Reed. I've been to Chris's house over in Kona. He took care of my wife and I when we went over there, did some training over there. I love Chris Reed, and he knows that. I think he's a skilled advocate. He was running initially when there was no business agent because Renfro didn't appoint one for over a year or something. So Chris has thrown his name in the ring, and then you were appointed. And so Chris, out of respect, he jumped back out and said that he respected that. And then here recently, he's jumped back in it, saying that he is going to run. But the situation was he starts putting an email out with your RAA Frazee about taking some dates away and said he was already blackballed. I just wanted you to clear the record on that about Chris Reed being blackballed. And personally, this is my thing. A lot of personal conversations are being talked about on social media. I don't like that. I need to know that if I call the business agent's office, not that you're doing it, but if I call the business agent's office, that I don't expect that conversation to be put on Reddit or Discord or social media. I expect that to be held between you and I. That's the reason I called you. And so I don't respect that at all. And so I don't like when people put out conversations and things like that because I need to trust you that when I talk to you, it's going to be just between us. And so that's one of the things that I did not like. But just talk about, is Chris Reed blackballed? Did you blackball him because he's running against you?
No, and one of the things to your point, yes, you shouldn't be hearing these things on social media that conversations that I'm having or are anybody's having with me, that is wrong. And there's a standing rule, and everyone that works in my office knows that what happens in the region stays in the region. It's private. That's how it's always been, and he knows that. And one of the things is, Chris took me to his home in Hawaii, and me and Chris, I love Chris too. I mean, he's a good guy. He's smart. And however, I don't know what happened. Something in him just told him to run against me. And that's fine. Hey, everybody has the chance to run, but he did make that promise that he wouldn't. Then he went back on it for his own reasons. But there is no blackballing here. What we do, it's managing the schedule, the arbitration schedule. We have several advocates to manage. We have maybe cases up to 200 cases a month that we schedule. We have 20 hearings. And something just opened up recently. Charlie Miller, he's one of our advocates, and he had some health problems where he couldn't do arbitrations. And all of a sudden, he gives us a call and says, "Hey, I'm available." So we did what we normally do. We reshuffle cases, we reassign cases. And at the time, Chris's workload was really heavy. He had 4 arbitration dates. That was heavy, and we needed to do something about that. So we moved some stuff around, and I gave Charlie 2 dates. Chris Reed still has a date, in September. So he is not being blackballed whatsoever.
Yeah, and as an advocate myself, Allan and James can attest to this. He's the greatest advocate we've ever had. But
Yeah.
Pete Moss would always do that in our business agent's office. I don't know how y'all's do it, but ours goes by quarter. You got January, February, March schedule up. It'll have all the dates. When LR gives you the arbitrations, you'll have those arbitrators put up in those dates. And so you'll go on to the schedule, January, February, March, and Pete would say, "Hey, Corey, are you available for this date, this date, this date, this date?" And I'd say yes or no. And so then I would be scheduled for all these dates. And then he would call me later, maybe, and he'll say, "Hey, those 3 on these dates, they're gone. You don't have those." Okay. And then you get to the week of the hearing, and they'll say, "Hey, that one's gone." Oh, okay. Now, I've been driving down to Lake Charles before, get into Meridian, Mississippi. He says, "Hey, pull over." I'll pull over to the gas station. He'll call me back, "Go back home. We just settled it." So arbitration is a crazy thing. An advocate's life is the craziest life of anybody else's, because you'll get a case working on it a month and it'll be taken from you. You'll get a case 2 days before the hearing, have to get prepare for that and go do it. And so I know at first blush, you get, you announce you're running, and then these dates get taken, and immediately get online and say, "Hey, I've been blackballed." But as an advocate, you know better, because things constantly change. And the fact that you said he still has dates, to me, if you're blackballed, you don't get any dates. But you say he still has dates. And I hate that about this situation, because like I said, I do like Chris. He's a very skilled advocate. I don't know how many cases he's had. We've gone back and forth about sites before, about arguments, about openings and closings. And he loves it. I know that. I did get blackballed, but I loved arbitration as well. But I just wanted to clear that up, because it's kind of gone crazy. Everybody wants, it's always the drama of it. You have certain podcasts, they thrive on drama, and they want that. And they will take it and run with it. And whatever you say is gospel. And I don't like that, because, you just get one person's side. But I just wanted to give you an opportunity, because I respect the shit out of you. I think you're going to be a fantastic business agent, like I said, because you've got your shit together. And you've already shown, how long you been in there? 100 days, something like that, maybe.
Yep. I have.
Yeah, and so that's a huge region with some absolute all stars that have come from there. And like I said, I think you're going to be a fantastic business agent. But I did not like that. I didn't like him, running you down through there. And
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to address is, this whole thing about I'm at the office 40% of the time. There's a thing called leave, right?
yeah,
We know what that is. So if I have leave, that's my business. And if it's
yeah,
for medical appointments, that is my business.
Yeah.
So if he's in the office and he's noticing I'm not there, and now he's telling all of social media that I'm not at the office, that's not cool. I really,
Yeah.
if I'm not at the office, there's a reason for it, because I'm on
Yeah.
annual leave or sick leave.
Yeah.
That's it. And then guess what? Even when I'm on leave, I'm still working. I'm
Yeah.
still working. Ask anybody. They know.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to convince me, bro. I know you. And and like I said, I think you're a fucking beast, and James can attest to that. He knows you much better than I do. But
Absolutely.
I wanted to give you an opportunity, Alan, to come on because I knew better. As an advocate, when that came out, he put the schedule out, said all these are taken. I'm like, that's commonplace. That happens often. As
Right.
an advocate, I've had an entire month taken from me before. I've had 6 cases in a month, and Pete would call me and said, "Hey, I'm taking July off of you." I'm like, "Well, damn." He's like, "Well, I got to give my other advocates some sugar." That's what he'd always say. I got to get. You've been busy a lot. I'm gonna give my other advocates some sugar. You take July off, and I'm like, I don't want to take July off. I want to do some cases, but
Yeah. And
and
let's take
six.
that scenario. Let's take that scenario real quick. He jumped to a conclusion, but that's what he does. He very emotional. He will react. That's what he does. I mean, let me give you an example. Back in March, uh, I had questioned him about a TA that he requested. A TA is a travel authorization. The advocates tell me what they need it for. Hey, Allan, I'm going to review cases on the docket, and this is how much time I need. And then I go ahead and request for that travel authorization that gets them the wages to pay them for what the work they do. So there was one instance where he asked for 24 hours to read 2 cases. There were LMOU cases. And I sent him an email, and this was back in March, and I questioned him because guess what? I got to answer to people. I have to manage the time, the finances. So I have to do my due diligence and question these things. So I asked him on an email, what is the reason you need 24 hours to review 2 cases? And at that point, I can imagine he probably lost it. And then at that point, he replied and said that, you know what, I you can keep those hours, and something to that effect, and basically quit. And at the time, he had 2 other hearings, and that we had to deal with within less than 2 weeks' time. That we had to, hurry up and scramble and get it done. And the funny part is, those 24 hours he was requesting, we got those cases pre-arb within 30 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
so I think it was a reasonable uh, thing to request, is an explanation as to why you need this much time. So that's normal. He's not the only one I've questioned. This is just what I do. That's what my position entails. Even before I was the MBA, I would still do that.
Yeah. And him saying, I don't want to do arbitrations anymore. I remember when I quit the Formal A, and normally that's a death sentence. When you walk away from anything in the union, that's basically it. And when I walked away from the Formal A back in 2010, that's what I was told. Well, you can kiss everything else goodbye. You don't walk out on it. And it was a few years later, Pete Moss, I was at the regional training in Tunica, Mississippi, and I was sitting at the table at breakfast because I was still a shop steward. And Pete Moss walked by, as a business agent, threw this big ass book on the table in front of me. And I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "That's your second chance." And he had assigned me as the Tennessee co-chair for safety. And so normally you don't get that second chance once you say, you can keep it. I don't do it anymore. Most times they're like, okay, that's fine. We'll get somebody else. So I'm glad that he's not blackballed. I think he's skilled. I think he's a smart dude. I love him, and he knows that. I've told him. And if I see him this week, which I will, I'll tell him I love him again. And so I just wanted to clear that up, that he was not blackballed. Matter of fact, he still has a schedule, right?
But
See,
yeah,
but this,
absolutely.
but this is the situation that, in my view, underscores what I always say, gentlemen. Hey, I say it so much, you'll be able to finish my sentence for me. When I say the best ability is what?
Dependability.
Dependability.
It don't matter how gifted you are, don't matter how smart you are, don't matter how talented you may think you have. If you can't be relied upon, it doesn't mean nothing, right? And as Allan was saying, he is the NBA of that office. He has an obligation to manage that office, make sure that monies aren't frivolously spent, make sure that hours can be justified. Because when he submits a TA, those that are authorizing the TA up there is going to say, all right, this isn't square. And what do you need this for? And so when he indicated here previously that Chris Reed, who I've done nothing, like I said, we've always treated him like family. He was part of our inner circle. Here's the deal, because he was our friend as well as a brother and a colleague, is that when he had quit, like you said, he could have just said, all right, you left the members hanging and we had to scramble to get these cases done or overload somebody else because you didn't like being questioned and threw your hands up and walked away from these other dates. But Allen gave him another opportunity. And so it is important that everybody understands. Like I said, there's always two sides to everything. And there is, background and a history that goes with things as well. But the reality of it is that what I do know about Allen and the Region 1 NBA office is that they operate above board and business is business, no matter who you are.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Alan, I think the world of you, brother. You know, I love you, my man. I wanted you to get on here and just clarify that my man is not blackballed. Because, like I said, when we take over, which we will, uh, Advocate's going to be at a premium. We're going to need all of them because we're going to be getting back into arbitration. And any advocate that ever calls me about something, I'm saying, hey, when you don't have a case, study. When you don't have a case to look over, look at sites. That's what I would do. And if I didn't have a case, I would read sites. As boring as that sounds, but I had my arbitrators on my panel, and I would just read their sites and see kind of if I could gain something from that, And any advocate out there, we're going to win, and we will take over. But study, keep studying, keep reading, keep educating yourself because we're going back into arbitration when we take over.
And here's important thing to point out as well. Things like this can easily be cleared up. Not that I know of. When I heard about this here, I was disappointed at how all of this has played out and how Allen and the NBA office got needlessly, um, I guess, undermined or persecuted. But I'm not aware of Allen. Did he ever call you and ask you, put a call into you and ask you why those cases were no longer his?
He did not call me.
That was something that would have been simple, opposed to going on this scorched earth tour. You know,
Right.
all you had to do was just call him, and he could have said, "Bro, no, you know, I got Charlie back here, going to give him some of these cases, and they're going to give you these other cases." And and as you know, Corey and Alan, cases, and me being a uh, advocate as well. Sometimes the cases may have been assigned to you just purely because of date. However, there may be cases that come up that may be more complex, or someone think that you're better suited to do this other case, and then they'll take that date away from you and give you another date.
Mhm. Well, that's like I said, the advocate's life is the most difficult one in the union because you don't know what's happening from day to day. I remember here in this house, when I moved in here, I had a garage with about this is no joke. Matter of fact, we had to get one of those containers to come and put them in. I guarantee you I had 60 cases, 60 boxes in my garage of cases that did not go off, were given to somebody else, pre-arbed or whatever. there was about 60 boxes. My garage was full of priority boxes because they had sent them to me and they just didn't go off. And any advocate knows that. I mean, if you've done it a while, I did it, I guess, about 12 years. But, you would always they would mail me 6 boxes. Here's your cases. And 2 of them would go off. And the rest of them you would, throw in the dumpster. But um, anyway, like I said, I just wanted to clear that up because I do think the world of Chris Reed. I love the guy. He treated us like royalty when we went over to Kona, and smart dude. And I want to, we need as many advocates as possible right now because
Right.
we're fixing to get busy.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to give you that opportunity, my brother Allan, to come on and say, "Ain't nobody blackballed."
Right. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
sir. Hey, man, I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey,
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be flying another one.
hey, Corey,
Yes, sir.
we're putting our stamp of approval on Allen. That's right. Everyone that's in Region 1 should vote for Allen Rios as NBA.
And what states does that cover? Region 1.
That covers California, Hawaii, Guam, and Nevada.
All
That's
right.
right.
So all of those carriers in those states, Allan Rios, Region 1. That's an easy choice. Dude is a beast. And we'll get more into that as time goes on. I'll have a lot of the NBA's on, a couple of weeks before the ballots come out, and we'll get down and dirty about plans and things like that. And so just to educate everybody on what we're doing and who we are. But all right, my brother Allan, I love you, my man. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, buddy?
All right. Appreciate it, Corey.
I'm
Thanks,
a man.
James. All right.
See you, buddy.
Take care. Bye.
All right, the Wolf, James Henry. My man,
My
what's up?
man,
You been
my
busy?
brother, man, busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest.
Well, did you win?
Man, we always win. Failure is not an option, brother.
That's exactly right.
You
And
know,
this is a good week for that
and
motto.
and if for whatever reason I'm on the tilt. I know you got my back.
I got you, brother. Like they say, I got your back like vertebrae.
There you go. Yes, man.
Well,
So
man,
yeah,
it's
man.
going to be it's here, man. LA is here, my brother.
Absolutely. I'll see you tomorrow, right? I'm here in
Yes,
LA
sir.
already. Been here
Yeah,
since
you've been there all
Tuesday.
week.
Yeah, we've had executive board meeting all week. Pretty much so. I got here Tuesday, and we've been going about trying to take care of the business of the NELC, relations to the convention. Nothing really remarkable has happened so far. I do know that um, the president had indicated that one, for the first time, that the convention will be live streamed. So that's a good thing. So
Yeah,
we're excited about that. And then the other thing, in terms of this passing out news, the other thing is that really there's been no meaningful progress with the collective bargaining agreement and negotiations. So as of right now, he said pretty much will consider us at an impasse, that um, there has not been any dates scheduled for arbitration for this round right now. And as such, no national arbitrator has been selected. So I'm assuming sometime thereafter, the convention, that they would get back to that. But supposedly there's supposed to be some type of update that's going to transpire during the convention as well. But that's the latest and the greatest here. But man, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm here in my hometown. I'm right across here, our hotel, right across from what used to be the Staples Center, is now crypto.com. I mean, it just brings back all good times, me coming down here watching the world famous Los Angeles world champion Los Angeles Lakers, compete when you have my man Kobe and Shaq there. So it just reminiscing and having a really, really good time, and seeing people coming in to be excited about being here in LA and excited for the changes that we're proposing from the CLC to come forward. The true reform team. And I'm super excited. I look forward to seeing you, the rest of the candidates on our slate, man, and let's go out here and make this happen, brother.
And we will be the only reform slate. There will be some surprises. I won't give them
Yeah.
away
Yes.
of other people running, and but we are the only reform slate running. And that's one of the things, James, that attracted me to you initially when we talked about when you won that vote 7-0. You said, I'm going to reform the NALC.
Yes,
We
sir.
will have a reform slate. We're going to bring fresh eyes, fresh minds, fresh bodies in here, and it's going to be a more militant attack, kind of attacking the workroom floor, and politically, and the things that we do is going to be more of a militant style, which I loved. And just the reform slate, I love. I like the idea of that, and I think people are seeing why now. Just the complete mayhem that's going on everywhere
Absolutely.
else.
Well, but
And
here's
so,
the deal, man. I'm exceedingly proud of the people that are on our slate, man, our
oh
union
yeah,
activists, because guess what, man? We're the, like I said, we're the true reform. All
yeah,
right. Our slate represents true reform. It encompasses from one end of the spectrum to the other. You have people that have immense amount of experience to some that are fairly new, but have the academic wherewithal and the drive and the to do the job, the commitment and the love for letter carriers, and the moral compass to do what's right and not just be bobbleheads. Here's the deal: we have male, we have female, virtually every ethnicity. We have table two letter carriers on our slate. You know, anybody and everybody that represents the body of this union and the NLC is represented on this slate. And like I said, we could be not more proud of the people that are willing to take up the flag and move forward because there is a new day of dawning, brother.
yeah. Oh yeah, the winds of change have swept through, my man, and we are here.
Yes.
One thing I want you to touch on, and this is something that a lot of the business agents and RAAs are going around telling people. And I know that my region had an RAA. She went down to Baton Rouge and other places, and she's telling people that the CLC is in violation of the Constitution, James, because they're trying to take over the NLC, and the NLC is not going to be NLC anymore. It's going to be the CLC. So and so, and so that's called desperation 101. And
Yeah.
I know that our bylaws say as soon as the election is over that the CLC will be disbanded, and obviously it's a slate no different than Sombrado was the concerned letter carriers, or Renfro Barner was a slate. But
Yes.
it is desperation. But I want you to touch on that a little bit because you do a lot of places we go. But we're going to kick out of that because they're like, man, this girl was down here saying that the CLC's fixing to change the NLC to the CLC. And
No,
so,
that's what's the word? Ridiculousness. That's ridiculousness, in its purest form. Man, look, they get an A for trying. Put it to you
yeah,
that way.
an A for effort.
Yeah, A for effort, man. Our slate, that's just the name of our slate. Nothing more, nothing less. We are the NALC. We love the NALC. This is not a offshoot. This is not a derivative. This is not a chapter of the NALC. Simply the name of our slate. We are those that are running, as you indicated here, to have reform. And you can reform this union and love it all at the same time. You don't have to agree 100% with everybody. That's the beauty of democracy, you know, the majority rules. But in this instance, it has zero credibility to we're in violation of the Constitution or anything else. We are part of and is the NALC, period.
Yeah. Well, we got a good kick out of that when we heard about it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, these people are desperate, son. They're trying to get us kicked out and saying we're not constitutional. It's like if you can't beat them, cheat them is what they say, isn't it? But
It's supposed to be join them now.
yeah. Oh, is that what it is?
It's supposed to be join them.
But
Hey,
let's talk
maybe
about
maybe we should book them for our fundraiser comedy show that's coming
Comedy
up.
night.
Yeah.
That's a good segue. That's a good plug right there. So talk to us about that. Now those tickets on the second show are selling like crazy.
Right,
So
man. Look, we have a CLC fundraiser and an opportunity to hear us address the crowd, meaning the CLC, members of the CLC slate as well. And it's going to be this coming Wednesday, August 5th, night of the nominations. And initially, we started off with one show, one comedy show. It's headlined by a comedian by the name of Daphne Springs. She's well known on the internet. She's been on TV. She's done all kinds of, she travels the country. She's a professional comedian. And we have a DJ, an opening comedian with with an MC. And so we are just super excited to put on this first class event for everyone. We have VIP booths, we have front row, we have general admission, and it's going to be a huge gathering of like-minded members of the NLC that want to see this union move forward and get back to where we once was, and that's to have respect on our name, you know. And the comedy show is going to give everybody an opportunity to intermingle and get to speak and talk with one another and get to meet us and enjoy a fantastic show. So our first show starts at 7 o'clock. The doors open at 6, where we want to address the crowd, and it'll go from 7 to 9. And then the second show is going to go from 9:30 to 11:30. And the first show is completely sold out. The second show is halfway sold out, and it's only been on sale for last week. So we encourage everybody, come out, join us, buy your tickets, go on Concerned Letter Carriers Facebook, and you will be able to click our link and be able to purchase tickets. We got general admission that's left right now at a reasonable price. And the first show, each setting has 250 people. It said the first show sold out, and we still have about 150 tickets left for this second show. So please support us, one, with the cause. Secondly, get an opportunity to meet and speak with us and hear from us. Third, enjoy a fantastic evening with a host bar and great time, great people.
yeah, and that's one of those things, James, when you plan that, you're like, there's a lot of people coming into LA and thousands upon thousands and probably new and are going to travel around. So you're thinking, you're going to do a comedy show. You're hoping people will be accepting of that. And it almost immediately sold out because we're like, how many tickets are left? 20?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we were extremely pleasantly surprised at that,
Right.
at the reception of that. And then the second one, was like, well, hell, let's do another show. The booze immediately sold out. The front row immediately sold out. And I was like, dang, and so
Absolutely.
we were completely encouraged by the response of that. I remember, James, in Boston, when we said we were going to have a meet and greet and we were given a room and they moved us out of that room. Remember, kicked us out of that when they moved us down to another room. And it was a huge room. It was like, God, it's going to look sad if we, just kind of partially fill this room up on our meet and greet.
Right.
And so we go in there. The room was full. They're standing up in the back in chairs. We're speaking, and they're lined up down the hallway. You got to speak louder. And so they were filled that room up, the huge room, lined up down the hallway. They called the cops on us and the fire marshals on us. And we were like,
Yeah.
hey, we've got lightning in a bottle right here. And, and then you have this one here where those, immediately sells out on that first show. So, the carriers are fixing to speak loud and clear, James, in this next election. We have said it. We're going to continue to say it. The establishment has no idea what's coming.
Oh.
I've said there's nothing they can do about it. I know they're trying. They're doing their best to remain relevant, but the city letter carriers have woke up, and the CLC is going to be that one, the reform slate that gets in there. But we also just general fundraising.
Absolutely. And I'm super proud because you know why? We've built this from the ground up because we have letter carriers on our side, the rank and file, and our slate represents the rank and file. It really does.
Yeah, it's the workroom floor.
Yes, the workroom floor. And who you and I have been going around for the last 2 years, and some of the other members on our slate, talking to letter carriers face to face. Because when you talk to folks face to face, they can determine or get a sense of whether or not you're for real. And the one thing that we have demonstrated is that we are about the business of the letter carriers, that we're willing to make the necessary sacrifice, to make sure that our message get out and that that letter carriers know that they have a group of individuals that truly care about them and their work life and their personal life as it relates to their standard of living. Because a living wage is not something to sneeze at. Every letter carrier deserves a living wage. So yes, we are just super excited, man. When I'm telling you, super excited, and I hope you can hear it. This week is going to be epic,
Yes.
and our show is going to be electric.
James, when you talk about, the slate is the workroom floor. Like you said, you
Yes,
got table two carriers. I think got three on there, and you got some seniority, and you got some midway, and you got uh, every ethnicity, but traveling the country with you has been the greatest experience because we have been to small town USA. We've been through major cities. We have gone to gas stations and people just walk up like we did the other day,
yeah,
just at a random gas station far away from anywhere. It's all corn. And then here's this one gas station. You stop in there and somebody's like, "Hey, James and Corey," and you realize that we have, we struck something with small town USA. We have eaten dinner with 6 people, 13 people, 20. We've been to union meetings where there's 10.
yeah.
We've been where it's been packed. And so that's been the greatest experience. We'll go places and they're like, "Man, I drove 2 hours to come see y'all."
Absolutely,
And
and that is not uncommon, man. It is a recurring thing that wherever we go, we have not gone one place that someone has not shown up, or multiple people shown up in CLC gear and have not and said that I've taken off work to come here, or I've driven hours to come just to meet you and just to see you. We're opening up our home to you,
yeah,
to like I said, my man Michael out in Denver, and then my man down Bobby, them down in Savannah, Georgia, and others have extended their home to it. And what we have said, and anybody that's followed us know that we have said from day one to now, and it will be the same when we take this administration over, whether it's 2 or 2,000, every single member matters to us. Every single
yeah,
matter. So it
yeah,
does not matter. You don't have to be a large branch, a medium branch. You can be a small branch or a large branch. If you ask us to come and we can be there, you ask us for some assistance, we'll provide it. That's just how it is because one can't fall without the other, brother. This is a family, meaning the union. We refer to each other brothers and sisters. We should act like it.
yes. That's one of the things also that you challenged me with is educating the workroom floor.
Yes, sir.
And you're talking about the workroom floor, not just the stewards or the Formula A's, and that's what we say everywhere we go, but the workroom floor. And people are like, "Well, how are you going to do that?" Well, I've been doing it for 5 years with an $80 microphone. And so it's not that hard. You just got to have the passion to do it. You got to have the love for the city letter carrier. And that's one of the things that you challenged me with is educating the workroom floor, and we're going to do that. But that goes back, man. It's just your priorities. What's your priority? Do you really
Yes, sir,
care
bro.
about the city letter carrier? You really care about light blue? If you do, it's going to show. And 5 years now, every week I've been talking to the city letter carrier. And it's that easy. You
Yeah.
know, it's not rocket science. You know, I just got an $80 microphone and started talking to carriers. And they want to know that that person is out there that cares for them, that loves them, that's going to fight for them and educate them. And that's who you are. That's who the CLC is. And that's the reason this election will not be close.
Hey, you heard me say you can't fake authenticity. We're for real about representing letter carriers and loving them.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, brother, we will get together. We're going to do an episode every night in LA.
Man, I'm looking forward to it. And we're going to have letter carriers, those that are around here that want to meet, and we'll have them come on and talk
Yeah.
on the episode and come
Get
over
some
and
shout outs.
get some shout outs, man. You know, this is about the letter carrier, about the working floor, about the rank and file, you know. And so we're inviting our folks that are here in Los Angeles. You'll get the address and you'll be able to come over, observe us. We're um, going to be broadcasting live, you know, and you'll be able to actually see our interactions with through YouTube, not just hearing the audio, you know, this week. So, man, I could not be more jazzed than what it is. And like I said, and moreover, man, to get a chance to see my homeboy tomorrow.
Hey, I'm coming in, baby. I'll be there. Wednesday, the blackout day. We'll end on
Bla-
that.
Absolutely. For those of you that do not have your CLC gear, whether it's a t-shirt, hat, polo, jackets, whatever the case may be, whatever CLC gear you have, bring it with you. You know, and if you don't have any CLC gear and you are a supporter and of this movement, we will have someone selling CLC gear that you'll be able to get some gear and be able to wear. And we want everyone, to the extent that you can, if you could, wear it every day. If you can or not inclined to do so, at minimum, Wednesday, August 5th, when our names are being placed into nomination to represent you, the rank and file letter carriers on the workroom floor. We want everybody to be representing, wearing black, wearing their CLC gear. We call it blackout. If we could, all 8,000 members that's in that hall, we would love to see everybody wearing CLC gear. And so, I mean, that is going to be a sight to behold as well. We're super excited. So we're going to have gear here for you to be able to buy. And it's going to be definitely at a reasonable price. We want you to wear at minimum come Wednesday at the convention to have that gear on. So, and for those of you that have the CLC logo, you know, I'm asking you right now, show your pride, change your profile picture on all your social medias because we're rounding third right now. And we're going to be sliding into home. We need everybody that is down with us to show. You know, don't talk about it, be about it. Change your profile pictures to the CLC logo through from here on out through the election. And, you know, let's go ahead and get this done because as Corey and I both say, this is not about me or he. This is about we. This is our collective effort. We cannot get nothing done without you. So remember that.
I couldn't have said it better myself, my man. So we will see you tomorrow. Everybody, safe travels getting to LA, whether it's tomorrow or Sunday. And my brother, I'll see you tomorrow.
Blessings, my man.
All
And
right, love
shout
you, my
out to
man. We'll see
all
you.
my letter carriers. All right. Bye.
All right, baby. We'll see you, James.
Later, man.